happened, this house was constructed in two portions. The first part that you'll be in tonight is the 1855 portion of the house. And interestingly enough, we have a picture of it here, and you can see the veranda that's outside the window here by us, and that's the 1873 portion of the house.
Wow.
The 1855 part is over here behind the tree. That house was constructed by a fellow by the name of John Harris, who was an entrepreneur here in Westport and was kind of a Conrad Hilton of the day. He had made his money in real estate and in hotels. And his hotel was downtown in the village of Westport. It was the most imposing structure on the frontier at the time in 1853. It was a three-story brick structure. He built this house as his third house here in Westport. The first one was when he arrived here in 1832, was about a block and a half to the east of us here. But the house stood then not in its present location. Actually, it moved. We have a picture of the moving of the house. It originally stood in the middle of where Main Street and Westport Road intersect. And they didn't intersect at a square as it does today. It went at a diagonal, so you'll see buildings over there that face the original route of Main Street. And the house stood there facing not the direction right now of east, but the 1855 portion stood facing north and west. If you've seen the Bingham picture of order number 11, we think that that picture, that house that's portrayed there by Bingham, uses the 1855 portion as the structure or the model.
How long did it take to move it?
This house was moved, it's been at this location longer than it was in its original one. The house was moved in 1922 for urban renewal purposes, and the family members moved it to the present location where we're seated tonight. And it took probably about a day and a half to move it. The people that moved it actually still have the company here in town that do this type of work. But in any event, this house was the first urban or historic preservation effort here in Kansas City. During the Civil War, the family left here, and it was somewhat semi-abandoned because the Harrises went back to the hotel because they wanted to be close to their business because things were very unsettled in Westport at that time. So what happened was the house was somewhat vacant, and we believe, and there may be some spirits to back that up, we believe that a fellow by the name of Jennison, who was notorious in these parts as a jayhawker or a bad guy for the Union, was using this structure as his lookout. When it was located across the way in Main Street, it's actually, if you go out in the middle of Main Street, you can see all the way down to the riverfront, which is about 4 miles away. And so it's a very good lookout point, if you will. And that is the history of the house through the Civil War. One of the granddaughters, watched the Battle of Westport from the bedroom, the south bedroom, through those windows. And again, remember that the house has been rotated 90 degrees, so it was actually looking off this direction today across what we call Loose Park as part of the Battle of Westport in October of 1864. And she recorded later on in her diary about the events that had happened there.
Now, what are some of the paranormal claims that go on here?
There are a couple that I can tell you about. One is there is a so-called bird bed upstairs in the south bedroom. That is one of the few family heirlooms that dates, it's post-Civil War. It's from when the Kearney family moved in and built this addition on in the 1870s. But the bird bed had a number of family members that were raised in several generations. And there's some indication when you go outside the building and you take a picture of the window where the bird bed is today, that you'll see the picture, you'll see the image of a young girl. Other things that happen that are kind of unusual is that you will hear from time to time the sound of chairs moving upstairs as though somebody's having a party, and they're not. And then you will see an image of a not a young girl, but a 30-year-old woman descending the stairs, the main staircase there on the first flight up. that the people have noted that as well.
Now, what do they say she looks like?
I can't give you a good description of that because I have not witnessed it myself, and I have not had the opportunity to talk in detail about that with somebody. But they do remark that they saw the visage of this matronly woman coming down the stairs.
Well, I'm excited. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Appreciate you coming out tonight.
No, not a problem.